Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my glorious co-host, Scouse Andy. How are you, Scouse? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, pal. I'm good-ish,
Yeah.
should I say. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but about this draft. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not too bad, mate. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, okay. It's recovered. I'm not on Eastern Standard Time anymore, thankfully. A long few days. I actually thought that last day was superior. It was seriously long, and I was just like dropping in and out, thinking I'll have a look at it here and there. And I didn't pay all my attention to it on the Saturday, but yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed the draft. I always enjoy the draft. It's that time of the year where you start to get a little bit more excited about what's happening in the Commanders' land and what's happening throughout all of the NFL. So yeah, we will take this opportunity to look at the draft this week, and we'll look at the undrafted free agents. Then we've got a few other bits and pieces to go over. But first of all, and first and foremost, we always start with a bit of news. So there is a little bit of news this week, a little bit of news on the NFL and how Roger Goodell at the draft talked a bit about the Washington Commanders takeover. And he said that it is progressing. It looks like it's progressing well, and all should be signed, sealed, and delivered by the owners' meeting at the end of March, which is great news for us. It finally looks like Snyder is away. The
Well,
hype is real. And
I wouldn't hold your breath just yet, mate. If you've heard about the new one of the new guys that just been told about that they're one of the new what's it like for one of the new investors as part of this Josh
yeah,
Harris
we
group.
just literally spoke about this off the pod there.
Yeah,
New
yeah.
investor that you've got coming in. So if you
So,
can give
so
us
it's
a
called
rundown of that.
yeah. So basically, all I saw, I just saw it on Twitter myself, really, and saw that it was Scott Jackson that retweeted it out via something from called Sportico, and it's the Santo Domingo family. They're basically big time, one of the richest people in Colombia. Their family are worth about $12 billion. But yeah, when you think about Colombian, you think about Colombian. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
know where you're
yeah.
going with
You
that. I
know where
know
I'm
where you're
going. You
going
know where
with
I'm
that.
going.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. And I'm
A
sure our
kilo,
listeners.
a kilo of the Colombian's best, please. Yeah,
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 well, yes, yeah, they
yeah,
do good coffee. Yeah, they do good
yeah,
coffee.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
And
white stuff,
Shakira's
the
quite
white
nice as
coffee.
well. Shakira's
Yeah,
quite nice too. But
nah,
yeah.
she crazy.
Mm.
So when you kind of so again, is he was he what we don't know is was he part of the original 17 people that might have been buying the Denver Broncos with him last time, or was he a newbie on board this time? And if he's a newbie on board this time, then he will need vetting, which means that it will take longer again. So just bear that in mind about thinking that you might be finishing before, end of March or end of May, sorry, into June. It might be a bit
Yeah,
longer. It
yeah.
just depends, man. It
I've
just
heard
depends about
some
this dude.
saying
And
it'll
it
be
sounds ropey,
August.
doesn't he?
It
He
doesn't.
sounds ropey, doesn't he? One of the richest men in Colombia. Well, how do you get rich in Colombia, really? Like, being honest here, This sounds like money laundering waiting to happen, isn't it? The night where allegedly,
Allegedly. We'll
stereotypes
point.
and all the rest of it. But
Yeah,
still,
we'll point that out. Allegedly, yeah. But we don't know if he is one of the 17 investors, that's for sure, or if he's is indeed an 18th investor that's come on
investor,
board.
exactly. Yeah, man.
There's another little bit of news that's come out, and I want to credit our group chat for that, really. So it's Alid that brought this to our attention, that was on Twitter, a little bit from the team 980, I think, or it might be 106 the fan. I can't remember which one it was, but they were talking about that the Harris group has already made contact and looking to buy RFK and the rights for the RFK stadium, and to try and take control of RFK, because it is due to be demolished this year. I think it was actually due to be demolished in 2021, but they've put it off because of COVID pandemic and other bits and pieces. And, we were lucky to see it. Burrows got turfed out when he tried to get in, which was quite funny. But yeah, if it was, it was good to go and see the old stadium and have a look on the outside of it. But if they can purchase that, then it looks like they are trying their best to bring this team back to DC, which is one of the things I think you brought up when the initial takeover came to fruition, that Josh Harris, Mitchell Rails, and Magic Johnson were going to buy the team. You said, look, I want two things. I want it in DC, and I want to see winning football, and I want them just to write the checks and be quiet in the background. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do, Scout. So what's your thoughts on, obviously, that
Oh,
little
I mean,
nugget of information.
well, that's exactly what I want to hear. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it's still going to be very difficult to get RFK Stadium only because it's not actually owned or ran by the politicians actually in DC. It's run by
Yeah.
two dudes out in Texas, I think, and something like that. So, which is ridiculous. But I've read somewhere recently that they've asked for that kind of power of RFK site to actually go back to the politicians at DC as well. And and our owners or new owners are the ones trying to push that forward as well. So it's great news because let's face it, right? What is our name? It's Washington Commanders. The team should be in Washington. It's as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. It's the capital city of a state, or a United States that's bigger than Europe.
Yeah.
You know, and the capital city doesn't have an actual NFL football team in it. I mean, you look at, for example, England and London. How many football teams play in London?
Oh, well, Christ.
There's probably about 20, 30 teams.
I think there's 8 in the Premier League, isn't there?
Yeah,
you know
just in the Premier League, at the top
yeah.
division, never mind all the other divisions. There's so many clubs around there. It's unbelievable. We've got none in Washington. We've got none. So
you've also got we've also got the national stadium for soccer, football. You know what I mean, as well in London. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. That's a lot.
But just to see the point though, is like they haven't made Washington like one of these big central hubs like obviously London has the thing in England. So I just think like it's just insane that we don't have at least one NFL team. I mean, look at New York. New York have got 2.
Yeah, well, they haven't actually. They've got none in. They're in Jersey, aren't they? But yeah, if you want to split hairs,
class them as New York State and whatever else, aren't they? So I kind of give it to them a little bit, but they've got 2 teams, you know, and Washington doesn't have any. We're basically fighting out with Baltimore in Maryland, so it's not it's not great, to be fair. So we need to be back in DC, no matter where it is, even if it's not RFK. You know, I don't care where it is, as long as it's in DC. It should be in DC. It's as simple as that.
Well, looking at it, I mean, here's another one. We had the almost post-draft party in National Harbour at the weekend. And I don't know if you saw any of the Commanders stuff that was online about that. A lot of people going out to see that, and it was great to see that the fans took that on and, you know, thought, "Yep, we'll go out. We'll see what it's about." Even you built down there. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I know there's a lot of people talking about a floating stadium, and no, seriously, like almost like
I've heard of it, but that can't be.
Almost like Finch Farm for Everton. They've done that, haven't they? They've done a dry.
It's not going to float. You know,
I know what you mean.
It's costing like 300 million just to get the actual foundations in, because it's in the sea.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, man. That doesn't make sense.
There's a lot.
Put it on the Potomac, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bit of other news then was Jason Wright. He made an appearance on the Pat McAfee show. If you've got a chance to go on YouTube, you can watch that back. It was a good 30-minute segment where, in actual fact, they gave him his props, and you know he came out of it very well. From what that normally they've bashed the team a lot in the past, and openly and honestly they said, "We're here, we've bashed the team." You know what I mean? We when you fucked up, you fucked up. You know what I mean? We have to go out and say that that's what's happened. But Jason had a really good appearance on that, and then he was also in an interview as well this week where he talked about the sale of even the expensive suites that are in FedEx Field, and he said there that just in the suites alone, he's had a year's worth of ticket sales in a weekend. So as soon as the announcement was that Snyder sold the team, as soon as the announcement that Snyder sold the team, the whole of all of the suites were gone. The thing is, you see the take up in one weekend.
I mean, that's crazy, but it's not unexpected. I mean, I even called it. I reckon first home game of the season after the Snyder era, that's going to be sold out. You know, I don't know who we're playing. Doesn't matter. It's going to be sold out. I'll guarantee you. Because you just 90% of the fan base are just fed up with Dan Snyder and don't want to give him their money. And I get it, but it has been to the detriment of the team. I'm not going to lie, it has. But I understand why they've done it. So I'm not going to have a go at them for that. No fans who've done that and decided to do that. But no, I've paid for stuff and still do. But it's like I'm there to support the team more than Dan Snyder's wallet, you know. So
yeah, I understand that. And the other thing as well is what people do not realise with anything that you buy that's apparel from the team. So if you buy through Fanatics or you buy directly from the shop, it isn't just us that you're contributing to. It's the contribution of every bit of merchandise, whether you buy a Baltimore jersey, a Dallas jersey, a Washington jersey, they all go into the same pot and it's divided equally.
Unless you're Snyder, who probably just like backhanding some shit again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Withholding
like,
money again, like he always does.
Who knows? Who knows? And then the only other bit of news really that's came out today was that after the draft, which we'll go through in a minute, the post-betting odds on the over-unders of how many games we're going to win this season has dropped by a game. So we were 7.5 before going into the draft, and we're now down at 6.5, ranked 30th out of 32. The only two teams which Vegas predicts we're going to have a worse record is the Texans, and then bottom of the tree is the Cardinals. So they're saying we're going to be number three in the draft next year. Now, we'll go through this a little bit later because we'll do that in a little segment. We'll go through that.
All I'm going to say before we get into it is the disrespect is real, man, out there in the NFL and the national media. I understand from the Dan Snyder thing. But to be fair, if you just look at our team and look at the talent on our team, third from bottom, behave. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking we're a top 10 team. We're a top 10 team with the talent that we've got.
That's very bullish.
But I mean, you've got an offensive coordinator who actually knows what he's doing, who's a winner, a proven winner, and got the quality dudes that we've got. I mean, I'd take our offense, ahead of Kansas City, besides obviously Mahomes. You know what I mean? But like the receivers, I'd take ours. The running backs, I'd take ours. Pacheco's decent, but he's not better than Brian Robinson. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, okay, tight end, yeah.
Offensive line.
Kelty. Well, we just took one of their dudes. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
I just think that we could technically match up. Now, okay, I'm not expecting us to go win Super Bowl this year. Would it be brilliant? Unreal, yeah, 100%. But let's face it, third from bottom. You're telling me that even teams like Baltimore are better than us. I mean, defense, the defense is pretty good, but look at their offense. It's gash. It's absolute gash. And yeah, they're going to be like whatever they are. I can't remember where they're put. I think they're about 20th, aren't they, or something like that?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they're about. Yeah.
I can't remember what they were, but to be fair, it just really does my head in.
Disrespect's real, Scouts. The disrespect's real. So we'll go on to the draft then, and we'll look at the draft. So number 16 in the first round overall, 16th overall pick, we took Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback from Mississippi. What was your thoughts on the pick? I know, obviously, I was on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast at the time, and I think my face said it all. I was not impressed with the pick initially. I really wanted to take Christian Gonzalez, and whether that's down to name recognition or whether that's down to me looking at a bit of film, more of seeing him at the combine, it just felt a little bit flat at the time. And then I went back the following day and I watched the film and I watched what we've got. And I actually really think this is going to be a good pick. You know what I mean? But you are banking on a bit of an outlier there by looking at the weight and thinking...
I mean, everybody's draft board's different, aren't they? Let's face it. Your draft board's different to mine. And we're not pros. These guys are pros who do this. We do it for a job, do it for a living. These guys know what they're on about. However, yes, from the fans' point of view, for sure. I was a bit annoyed with Gonzalez being. I can't believe he dropped, by the way, that far. But in any mock draft that we did, we've done so many of them. Not just me and you, but just in general. Saw so many on Twitter, and not one time was Gonzalez there at 16. Not once. So it was a big shock that he dropped that far. And at the time I was pissed. Yeah, sure, because again, I was like you. I watched some of his film. At the start of the season, he was pretty shit. Being honest, he got burned quite a lot. Then he improved throughout the year. So it shows that he's learning from his mistake, which is what you want to see from your now NFL rookies. You know what I mean? And he was smooth as hell in the combine. I thought, oh yeah, this is legit, dude. However, Forbes, he's something that we just don't have.
Yeah,
he is a genuine ball hawk. And we have not had one of them for a lot, probably since D'Angelo Hall, to be fair, when he was prime. Probably prime Hall. We've not had anybody since.
No.
And he's got all the attributes besides he's a bit skinny.
That's it. Yeah,
but he's never been. Don't forget though, he's never been injured. He's played 3 full seasons, not been injured. So you always think, oh, he's either going to be a wuss in the tackle, or he's going to be a guy who's just always injury prone because he has his frame. Both of those, no, because he hasn't been injured and he lays the wood, and he wants to.
He's a big tackler. He wants to hit.
He hits. Yeah. He wants to hit. You know what I mean? So he plays bigger than his weight, should he say? And he's 4.3 speed. I mean, and the interceptions
4.24 at his pro day.
4.24 and a 4.3, 4.33, what it was at the combine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy's got some serious speed. We don't have that either on our team, by the way. We've got no serious speed in our DB room at all. So again, he's ticking a lot of the boxes. He's also saying, yes, he will get hit with a double move once in a while. Yeah, sure. Just like Trayvon Diggs. But the guy's a ball hog as well. If he wasn't a ball hog, Trayvon Diggs would be out the NFL. That's how bad he is.
Exactly.
Because he gets burned all the time because on double play. And you know what I mean? On double moves, he gets burned all the time. Terry has him off all the time.
I've seen a lot of post-draft comps to Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that comparison like either. The only saying because he's small, just like him. But to be fair, I think this guy's got it all. This guy's got the package. He really has. He's got things that we've not had on defense for a long time. I say, you might go, oh, he looked at his film, and half his pick sixes or even just his picks were bobble balls that fell to him. Well, what's that tell you? He's always around the ball. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to catch it. You've got to catch it. Yeah.
But that's also a knack as well of being in the right place at the right time. It isn't just luck. Once, it's luck, but 5, 6, 7, 14 times like he's done over his career. And it's not luck, mate. It's not luck, gentlemen. It's not luck.
That's the other thing you've got to think about when you compare it to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, when he played teams who were from the SEC, he didn't look good against them teams. Whereas you got Manuel Forbes is at it every week against the best competition. So it's not like he's not played these guys who are coming out the draft or the guys who've come out for the last 2 years who are now turning into superstars, the Justin Jeffersons of the world, these sort of players who are,
Did you hear Forbes' original interview with the command team?
I haven't heard it yet.
Julie and all that. They asked him, I think it was Smoot. Smoot asked him, he said, do you have any kind of like beef or, like kind of like somebody like I really want to get hold of, or really want to kind of like, stick it to him type thing. And what did he say? Devonta Smith from the Eagles. He said, I want him. I said, I said, why? I said, why'd you pick him for? He goes, because he put 250 on us last time he played them, as in college. So last time he played against them, he put 250 up against them. So he's like, wow. I'm not having. So he really wants to prove a point that he's I'm coming for you this year. I'm coming for you now. Now I'm in the NFL myself.
Also, I really liked his video when he was flying into the DMV to go and sign his contract and look at it. He had a quite smart Stone Island jacket on. So when you've got your press conference at 1 and Millwall away at 3, got to get that badge in, haven't you?
Stone Island, you would have played in my face.
I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, clearly he doesn't know. But there you go. But overall, we're not going to grade this draft. I honestly think draft grades are stupid. I don't want to hear what the noise is about. This was a B or this was a C overall. I'm not interested in that. We've got to give these guys a chance to get on the field and see what they do. It is a crapshoot, absolutely, no doubt about it. You are guessing when you get further down the draft, but he's got something that we didn't have.
You're even guessing. He fills a hole because we needed a cornerback and we were desperate for one. But also, I say he's got a skill set that we just don't have in our team. Anywhere across the board. So I understand why we picked him. A little high for me. A little high for me in general. Personally, when I think I did a couple of mock drafts, in the Burgundy zone and stuff like that, and I hadn't gone to Baltimore at around 22. I thought that was about the kind of range he should have been in, kind of early 20s. So a touch high, but I understand the pick.
But we've also seen it, and as you said before, everybody's board's different, and clearly the Commanders' draft board is different. If we look at the last 3 years now, or if we include Emmanuel Forbes, you had Jamin Davis initially, who nobody really had a top first-end ground grade on. Jahan Dotson, no one had a first-round grade really on Jahan either. And then Jahan's turned out... Jahan's back end of the first round, you could probably say, but Jahan's turned out very good. Jamin Davis is obviously still learning, but he's a good, solid player.
He's getting better every year, and that's all you can ask.
He is, yeah, and that is all you can ask. And now we've got Emmanuel Forbes, so clearly there's a type that Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew are after, and he fills the need, as you said. So then
young and fast.
Athletic, yeah, exactly. We'll move on to 47 then. So in the second round, we took Jatavius Quan Martin from Illinois, who is a cornerback / free safety, that big nickel type role that he looks like he's going to come in and be an instant starter and replacement for Bobby McCain. What were your thoughts on this one then?
I'm going to say what I really thought for the sizzle, but should do now.
Yeah, if you want to go for your sizzle now, mate, and you want to crack on, then we'll go for your sizzle.
Yeah, well, my sizzle is basically this pick, because it isn't about the player. It's not the player's fault where he was picked. He was reach. I think he was a reach. I think he should have been later in the second round, maybe even the start of the third. That's what he should have been. But the biggest piss thing, what really fucked me over, was Brian Branch was still on the board. There's 2 spots just before we were on the board, and Mayhew and all that has been talking about, oh, I wish we were more aggressive. We were going to come up to 7 to get Richardson. No. You wanted a quality kind of safety box guy, all that. Brian Branch was the guy to pick. Why didn't you go up 2 or 3 spots just to make sure you got your guy? That's what really pissed me off. And, because Brian Branch shouldn't have been anywhere near where we were picking in the second round.
No, he was a first round all day for me.
He went 45. He's a first round talent, man. I was really shocked that he dropped. And then imagine having him there as a safety, along with Forbes, along with Curl, along with Saint Goat. That's a phenomenal DB line. Now with this, you're looking at it thinking, okay, you got Forbes and Forrest, yeah, and we've also got decent depth now as well because of that. But now it's like, well, okay, well, Forbes, yeah, okay, great. I understand the pick, etc., etc. But this guy, I'm like, I don't know how good this guy's going to be. I mean, it's so some of his film. Yeah, he looks good at times, and yet looks bad at others. He also had 2 very good DBs alongside him in Illinois as well.
Yeah.
So for me, the jury's out on this guy. I thought it was a reach, but I understood because he didn't go up to get Branch, and there's only really 2 decent nickel safeties really, and that was Branch and this guy.
Yeah.
So I understood where he panicked. I think it was a panic actual draft because Branch went literally 2 stops before. That's what I think. And that's what pissed me off, man.
The other one I heard was they were going to go look at 47, they were going to look at Steve Avila. And I was screaming for that all day, all week. Steve Avila, that's who you take in the second round. Probably the absolute plug and play left guard, immediate starter, straight in, no issues at all. And again, why is Martin Mayhew coming out after the draft saying we should have been more aggressive? I mean, we've heard reports that whether this is just, media looking for clicks, that we were going to trade to 7 and take Anthony Richardson. I mean, if you're going to trade to get Anthony Richardson to 7, then how invested are you in Sam Howell?
Exactly.
Really?
And that's why I think that's a load of shit, that one. I really do. I really think that's a load of crap, that one. I just think they're just trying to say that because they hear, obviously, they hear noises like everybody else, that the fans weren't happy with the picks that they selected. Why weren't you more aggressive? Ron needs to win now, etc., etc., etc. So they went, oh, well, to compensate with that, what we did was, well, we tried. We did try and go up. We should have, maybe we should have been a little bit more aggressive. No. You see what I mean? Like, I just think it's a lot of crap, that.
So if you go back to Quan Martin then as a pick, overall, are you quite happy that we double dipped on DB and we've solidified that back end, if you like?
At the time, on the day, no. I was really pissed because I wanted an O-lineman as well, and there were still some good guys get left. Even if Avila went, there's still some really good guys still left. And I was like, oh, but then once you start thinking about it and you're trying to understand where they're coming from, then you think, okay, he is the second best kind of for that position that we were looking for. He's the second best guy in the draft, and we got him. So.
And that is our base position, isn't it? Nickel is now our base position.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having that instead of a linebacker. You know what I mean? Yeah. So because we all want the linebacker. Because let's face it, we want traditional. We want to see 3 linebackers, 4-3 defense, all the rest. But we don't play that. We don't play that. And it can be to our detriment at times. And at times it works to our favor. But this guy's obviously a bigger guy. And I'd like to see him more in the box more than say Cam Curl, even though Curl's excellent at it. I just don't like him being pounded up. I want him to be fit and healthy 17 games and beyond, if that makes sense. If you keep putting him down there and where he's really going to put his head in every single time, no, he's going to get hurt because he is quite. He's not slim, but you know what I mean. He's kind of like
slender.
I just want to protect him a little bit. Yeah. I want to protect him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because he's that important, you know. But yeah, so this guy can. Yeah, if this guy can come in and actually, do the good things that we've seen, and obviously improve on his weaknesses, which is mostly in coverage. That's where his biggest problem is.
Yeah,
it tends to be in zone and in coverage, which obviously we play a lot of zone. That's the problem. Unless we're going to change it up and actually start having him just further down in that box. No, the Landon Collins role, you want to call it whatever.
Yep.
He'd be good at that, yeah. And I'll be happy with that because again, if our DBs are all healthy, that's a solid unit.
And then the other question I'm going to ask you on this then, Scouse, as well, is now we're looking obviously a little bit further. I mean, maybe we can come to this a little bit later after we've done the draft. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave this for a little bit later. A little bit of a quizzer on there. So the next one then at 97 that we took in the third round, Ricky Stromberg, center out of Arkansas. What were your thoughts on this pick? I mean, I was quite impressed with it. I thought, yeah, SEC center again. Looks like he's good with the protection. Funnily enough, he had dinner with the Commanders. You know what I mean? He was one of them where if you have dinner with the head coach and you have dinner
you're getting in.
Yeah. You're looking good. Yeah. They obviously couldn't get hold of him on the phone either, which was quite funny. I did find that quite hilarious that, they tried 3 times, rang some random number and got a random bloke asking for Ricky, and he wasn't there, which was quite hysterical. You know what I mean?
The only video I saw of him, he wasn't even that happy. All his family were going mental like him on, and he was just sitting there like he was pissed off. You know what I mean?
In a Commander's t-shirt.
Yeah, the Commander's t-shirt.
No,
I was just like, you're not happy, bro, no?
No, he was. You could see he was elated. They ended up ringing his agent, and his agent rang his dad, and that's how he got the call through his dad's phone. Because
so it was already on the telly before he.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. Yeah, he was like, well, I didn't know this either, and it was funny. I was on the Bleeding Burgundy pod the other day, and Keith was telling me that actually, when you see it on the TV, the draft saying, "Oh, the pick is in," the pick has been in for about 10 minutes. And it's all for TV. You know what I mean? It's all staged for TV. So you do get the time. They're on the clock. Okay, great. Yeah. But that is always 10 minutes delayed. So even before you can go out the back and you can see who you've picked, what the card is. So obviously with Hog Farmer Chris being the fan of the year, he was out backstage. But because our pick wasn't there, there wasn't anything that you could do to hand him the shirt or do any of that. They just gave him the card. So he knew before we'd even finished being on the clock. So it was quite interesting to think, all right, that's it. It's all for TV. So there's always about a 10-minute delay between what we see and then when it comes through is, the pick is in. So Ron is ringing these guys and saying, look, we're going to put you on, you watch it on TV. We'll let you celebrate it with your family. That's how he knows. So he says, it's going to be about, because I think I heard him, I can't remember who it was too. He said, you'll have about 10 minutes before your name comes up on the TV. Then solidified that to me, thinking, why is he talking about that? So that's probably why he looked a bit chilled. Do you know what I mean? Because he'd already had that conversation. So I'm quite happy with this pick, to be honest with you. It looks like we've got our future starter at centre. He has really said that he will probably play centre and that he has got that positional flex, as we like to call it, where he can play guard. But he's a 3-year starter in the SEC at centre. So for me, maybe he's not going to start this year. Maybe it's It's to come in next year and start. But it's good depth. It's good depth. I can
definitely see him being centre number 2. Not this season, on barring injury, obviously. We can't with all our centres. We just don't know if they can last a full season. That's the only problem. So I understand why we got a centre. The guys, I say, he's not injury prone. You know what I mean? He's not one of them guys. Played most of his seasons, if not all, every season of a chance at Arkansas. And again, he was in a team that wasn't one of the best SEC teams, and he still held his own. I mean, like anybody. I mean, you can when you get into the third round and onwards, you can start to pick faults. in certain
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
and there's a couple of bits you can see with him that
yeah, exactly.
sometimes he misses a protection, sometimes he misses that, sometimes it's about his anchoring. He
Yeah,
does
I was
he
going to
can't
say that.
yeah
You've
he
bitten
can't
into it. Yeah.
he doesn't really sit down on his anchor too as well as he should. But again, those things are teachable, you know. So that's why for me was a position of need, not need as such, but it was definitely one that I understand what he's looking at for the next, not this season, but next.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now we've got a new as well. I forgot to mention this in the news. Travell Wharton has been confirmed as the new offensive line coach. It's not official
Expected.
yet. It's not official yet because I think they're still waiting for the transfer of ownership before they make it official for some weird reason. But he was assistant O-line as well before and had
It's
learned under
probably
John Matsko. So
it's probably Dan. It's probably Dan not willing to pay him his
maybe.
wage rise.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe, honestly, it could be something as simple as that we don't know that's going on in the background. But Ron and Martin confirmed that at a press conference after day one of the draft. So, yeah, well, congratulations to him as well, Travell Wharton, who is a former left guard for the Carolina Panthers.
Question: how many offensive staff were on our team before Bieniemy came? Who's still there now?
Oof.
It's not many.
Not
I'll tell you that.
many left now. There isn't many left now. Well,
was Wharton? Wharton was one.
Wharton was one. Yeah. Jordan's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah, Randy Jordan. Yeah,
Randy Jordan's gone. We've got a new QB's coaching, the guy from Stanford.
Tavita something.
Yeah,
Tavita Pritchard, his name is.
Yeah, Pritchard, that's right.
Tavita Pritchard.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the old tight ends coach who used to do offensive line. He was
the guy. It's Juan Castillo, isn't it? That's the guy we've got now.
There you go. Yeah,
he's the guy we've got now, and he was there obviously last season, but he was a Ron guy from years ago. So, I mean, he could still be there, but I've not even heard his name this summer. So, I mean, not summer,
neither have I.
But now this off season, I've not heard anything about him or if he's still there or not. You know, so that'll be interesting if he's still there.
It'll be really
anybody else. Running backs coach, he got a new one in, didn't he? He got his boy in, didn't he?
Yeah. Jennifer King's still there as assistant running backs coach. Wide receiver coach is new, I think, as well. And
yeah, man. So it's a whole new staff, man. Besides like maybe one or two guys from the offense for the offense, like defense, obviously still the same, but
be interesting.
But yeah, man. Yeah. Interesting.
So the next one then was at 118 in the fourth round. We picked a guy called Braden Daniels from Utah, an offensive guard. He's listed as an offensive guard, but we announced him as a tackle. So there's a thought that he could potentially play left tackle in the future. Again, as you said before, you're going to find faults in these later round guys. You know, he's a little bit slender for a left tackle. I think they're going to try him out at tackle, see how he gets on, and if not, they'll kick him inside. I don't really like that. And I know this sounds probably daft. If you're going to get a tackle, you get a tackle. If you're going to get a guard, you're going to get a guard. I don't want to see this positional flex shit.
Position flex shit, yeah, exactly. That's the problem. I'd rather you be elite at one position.
Correct.
Rather than being good at three. You know what I mean? I'd rather be elite. You know, it's different. It's different level, and that's the problem sometimes. But I understand because of the injuries that we get in the offensive line, so I understand why one's coming back from that. But it's like for me, I think this guy's a good pick. Actually, I do. I like him. Too. I actually like this guy. I'd say you're right. You know, he's under. I think it's like 290. I think on his weight, which obviously for him is. But left tackle is definitely too slender. But he does have great footwork because of that, because he is slight. Do you know what I mean? As in for his height and for his position.
So 6'3", 292, but you could push his frame up to about 300, 303.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, look at the defensive end he's taken on. They're like 320, 330. I don't think these guys 6'5" plus. You know, so he's going to have to either beef up or be absolutely brilliant with his footwork. Which he is good with his footwork, but he still needs some refining. But you know, he's really, really good from that angle. I think he could be. I think he could be a genuine tackle. I really do. Probably right tackle more than left, personally, in my mind. But I can understand if he plays left as well. So he played mostly left tackle, didn't he? But he played a bit of right tackle as well.
But again, we're looking at here. We're looking at a bit of depth here, aren't we? So what we're saying here is, if you look at these first four picks, we've gone double dipped on. You know, the two starters, corners, plus like DBs, if you want to go that way. And then we've gone, you know, offensive line. And that's kind of where we were. And if you think I'm not expecting all these to be starters at all, but there is definite change in that offensive line, which is one thing we all said after the season, is that's where we needed to go. Another really interesting thing was the left guard slot. It was talked about. He said, Braden will be in camp looking at tackle. If it doesn't work, we'll push him inside. There's going to be a genuine competition between Sidiq Charles and Chris Paul. And yet again, Norwell wasn't mentioned. That's now 3 times now. Ron has blanked and not said Norwell's name. So that can only be a good thing for you, especially because you don't have to put a pound in the swear jar.
Oh, yes.
So,
I think he was the biggest problem for Leno.
Agreed,
I really do.
I agree.
Look at the year before. Leno was solid, man. But who did he have next year? We had Flowers, who was a solid guard. You knew what he was doing. With this time, we got this joke of a Norwell in who was way past his prime, absolutely shite. And look what happened to Leno. He didn't know where the hell to be. Do we have to cover this dude? Do we have to go and then he was getting beat left, right, and centre? And it's just like, no, Leno's a solid guy. We were all saying how solid he was and how much of a steal he was at 12 mil a year, being a decent starting left tackle. And then last season, he's playing injured as well, by the way. He had the shoulder injury that no one ever told anybody about. So near the end, I think his wife let it slip on Twitter.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Yeah, and okay, he was crap. He was bad. He was bad last season, but you shouldn't be cutting him. I think they're happy with him, because we didn't go out and get a stud left tackle in the draft. I know for a fact that we're going to stick with Leno. It's the guard position that's the interesting one for me.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, left tackle's a premier position in the NFL, and that's where you make your money. That's where most of the money, apart from the quarterback, if you look at any team, what's your next highest paid? Generally, defensive end or left tackle. That's your 2 highest positions of where they're getting the
premier,
money.
Yeah.
And it's premier position. And for 12 million, as you said, it is a steal. I'm not Charles Leno's biggest fan. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. I've slated him to
I slated him last year because he was bad. There's no doubt about it. He was awful last season, but I don't blame it all on him. I blame it.
No, I don't either.
Two minds because of Bully Norwell. Once you see a decent starter there at left guard alongside Leno, you'll see a much better production from him, I think.
So that's a really interesting one, and obviously again, bit of depth. So welcome to the team, Braden Daniels. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I just don't like the left guard side of things. I don't like the guys we've got there. I mean, if you think about it, you've got a tackle that might come into guard. You've got a centre who might go into guard. Stromberg, so Stromberg might go into guard, or you might the one we just mentioned, Daniels, might go into guard. Well, okay, they're bit part players, and then you got 2 guys that one Sadiq Charles. Okay,
never
he's been there a few years, but he's always injured. Yeah, and then he
wasn't a guard; he was a tackle. He was Joe Burrow's left tackle.
Yeah, he wasn't
in college.
Yeah, he was, but he obviously not good enough to play there. His footwork wasn't good enough to play in the NFL there. But
Chris Paul was
and then you got Chris Paul, 7th round pick. And you're thinking, he had a decent game in his debut, but that doesn't mean that he's gonna take on the next level and be world class next season. This season coming up, so we could have a gaping hole there at left guard, or sticking some dude in, or maybe sticking Gates there.
That's what we
could do a solid job. But Gates has been told he's going to be a centre, and that's what he wants to play. So if you put him left guard, you're already going to piss him off straight away. So it's like, it's just I think that's still a gaping hole at left guard. I really do.
Be interesting to see what we do, because we have still got the 3rd wave of free agency. There is cuts happening, throughout the NFL. So we might do a Charles Leno here and pick someone up off waivers, or pick someone up off cuts and see what happens there. Next pick at 137 then was KJ Henry from Clemson, defensive end. It's backup, it's depth, it's a good challenge to Chase and Montez Sweat. Looks a good player. Let's be honest here. You're not playing for a team like Clemson and being crap. You know what I mean? Being a 2-year starter. He was a team captain, very highly intelligent guy.
And who wasn't?
On and off the field.
And who wasn't a captain? Miles Murphy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
what's that tell you?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's interesting for him. I mean, KJ Henry probably didn't get the buzz that he deserved because of the players he was playing the other side, like Miles Murphy. You know what I mean? He's getting all the love. And then they've gone down to the pro day to look at Clemson and say, right, who can we watch here? Probably watching Miles Murphy, and thought, oh, who's this KJ Henry guy? Can we get him later on in the draft? And what I thought was brilliant about this is if you get the chance to go and watch the Commander's Twitter or Commander's feed, YouTube, please go and watch his video of the call that he got with his dad. His dad, I mean, his dad's a long time Redskins fan of old. And as soon as he got it on, he didn't even hug him. He just ran straight upstairs, put my jersey on, come downstairs. I thought, yeah, man, but a Trotter jersey? Really?
Yeah.
Like,
one season, wasn't he, as well?
One season. Yeah. He's an Eagles guy. He's an Eagles guy, Trotter, but there you go.
Yeah.
Best known for his Eagles days, but
I mean, I like Henry. I mean, I do. I think he's a steal in the fifth. I think he should have gone like kind of mid fourth to maybe early fourth. Yeah. So we definitely dropped a little bit than what he should have. I mean, okay, is he as fast as Murphy? No. So when you're looking at kind of the combine, and he didn't particularly go, wow, blow my mind with kind of any 7-cone drill or anything like that. There's nothing that really kind of stood out to me like, wow, this guy's elite in anything. But he's good at a lot of things. No, he's kind of he's solid, if that makes sense. He's not like elite in one specific trait, but he's solid across the board. Now I saw a couple of nice swim moves and spin moves as well to get to the quarterback. I mean, some of the film I saw. The guy's good, man.
Good feet. Okay, he's got good feet.
Yeah, he's quick enough. I mean, he plays quicker than his 4.5. I think he ran a 4.5 or 4.6. I think in the with edge rusher, it's not very fast for an edge rusher, but he plays faster than that. If that makes sense.
And to be honest, those scouts,
I think he's a good pickup.
We relied on edge depth last year because obviously with Chase being out for so long, we relied on that rotation of Hill, Smith, Williams, Shaka Tony, who's not here anymore, and F.A. Obada. And now we've got this guy in KJ Henry who adds to that depth. And this is the theme really of this draft. It's not necessarily positions of need and it's positions of depth. It's getting the depth behind what you've already got, which to me, makes sense.
Where would you put him at the moment on the depth chart, Henry? I know we don't really see him play for us, but
fourth, maybe. I mean, what we look? Yeah, fourth. I'd say fourth.
I'd probably say fourth myself. I'd say fourth. I'd say
Smith Williams is third. I would say, and then maybe KJ Henry
or Turiel.
Obada, they're all interchangeable, aren't they?
I just think that Henry can push them. I think he can push to that kind of number 3. I really think he could. That like DN3 is definitely up for grabs to be taken if he's good enough. So I just want him to really push Chase. To be honest, I want to think like, oh wait a minute, damn, this guy's really good. Like he might take my spot. That's what I want to see. But again, from a 5th rounder, it's unlikely. However, we saw people like Max Crosby go in the 4th.
Yeah.
And that guy is elite. So, these things can happen as well. So hopefully we can pull something out of the bag with that. But am I unhappy with that pick? No.
No, I'm not either. Not at all.
That's fine. Yeah.
I was pretty pleased with it, to be honest with you. And probably, I'll be honest with you, that's probably my pick of the draft. Looking at that, I think it was a good pickup for what we got.
Value. I think value pick. Yeah. I agree.
Next one, 193 in the 6th round. Chris Rodriguez Jr., running back out of Kentucky. Obviously, first thing you said to me in a WhatsApp group was, got DUI, bad attitude. And I was like, okay. But this really has the markings of Eric Bieniemy all over it. This is Eric Bieniemy's pick. This is his guy. He's clearly studied on what he wants in the running back room. And this is adding to that beef of a running back room. He's not the scat back that I thought we were going to take.
That's right. I thought we were going to take someone like pace. That.
Yeah. And obviously, McKinnon signed back on with Kansas City. So that's a no-go from our end. But for me, this looks like we're going to have that 1-2 punch with Brian Robinson and Chris Rodriguez Jr. And he's going to do something special with Gibson now. I think when he gets his hands on Gibson, he realizes Gibson's a wide receiver that's playing running back. That is what it is.
That's what he was.
Yeah, of course he was.
He played wide receiver his whole career.
Yeah, until the last year. And then you think, okay, he's come in and now we're at, we've converted into running back. One good season, unbelievable rookie season. And then the drop-off was evident. The fumble started. Then you think to yourself, well,
a lot of times it's because he's not used to the battering, like a true NFL RB gets. These guys get hammered, get pounded every single play. So he's not used to that. He's a receiver. So I mean, this guy. I mean, obviously, I like to think they're going to take a little bit of his weight off him a little bit, so he doesn't. So he is a genuine kind of Swiss Army knife that you could use along with what's his name, Curtis Samuel.
Curtis
I
Samuel,
think
yeah.
I think those two. They're going to be a matchup nightmare for people with reason. But I think
Yeah.
with the enemy scheme, and this is what I don't get about this bloody 30 thing. Being ranked 30th in the NFL after the draft. I just think it's a piss take because disrespect is real, and these guys are just they're too good. They're too good to be ranked 30th, man. They really are. I mean, now they've got a guy who knows what to do and calling the shots.
And let's think, where did he play? Where did Eric Bieniemy play? Running back.
Running back. Mm-hmm.
What did he get? Heisman. You know what I mean? He was in for the Heisman Trophy, and played at a decent school. Knows what he's doing. He's got that championship winning mentality, and you're bringing in his guy, Chris Rodriguez Jr. He got a DUI, right? Okay, it happens. Do you know what I mean? We don't know the ins and outs of why it happened or what the off-field problems was, but let's be fair. He isn't DeJuan Jones. He isn't Carter. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't got serious red flags. Now, if there was serious red flags, you'd probably say, right, that's not our pick at that point. But Ron is obviously building that culture. He's got that trust. As you said before, he's looking for athletic stud players with high relative athletic scores, people who could come in, either challenge for a starting spot or depth of the future. And that is what he's after. And that's what all of his drafts have always been like. So this, for me, again, is a very good pick. I've seen draft boards have him in the 3rd round.
I was going to say, some guys have had him ranked higher. And again, probably the DUI, missing 4 games in his last season at college, was probably the reason why he fell to the 6th, So he's better than the 6th round pick. So again, value-wise, you're getting the 4th rounder in the 6th. So, again, good value.
Yep.
Would I pick them? No, because we've already got a battering ram in B-Rob. We've already got a battering ram. But what's better than 1 battering ram? 2.
Exactly right. And that's the other thing as well is, I mean, we don't know how much the injury to Brian Robinson last year, which was totally unfortunate, we don't know how much that's actually taken out of him already. Them playing one season in the NFL.
I mean, he did say he was probably playing about 80%, he said, even though he came back. He said he played about 80%. So
if you could take that load off him, you know what I mean? Where the carries are shared, it's longevity, isn't it? It's longevity. And, we're so, as fans and as organizations and as the NFL in general, we're so easy to just go, that's a running back. Don't worry about it. We're not going to pay them. We'll toss it to one side, get another one in and start again. It's the most underrated position now in the NFL completely. And no one wants to pay these guys. I mean, Saquon Barkley, he's probably...
Well, he's on tag, isn't he? He's on the tag, isn't he?
But he's probably
and they won't even sign. He hasn't even signed it. He hasn't even signed it.
Look at Zeke. He's a free agent, straight out. No one's picked Zeke up.
Well, he was on 15 mil for this year. No wonder he got rid of him.
Not what I'm saying. So nobody is going to touch these guys. And it's weird, isn't it? I mean, even look at DeAndre Swift. Straight away, buff gone for peanuts, for absolutely nothing. But we'll talk a little bit about that in future. Our last pick then in the draft, 7th round, 233, Andre Jones Jr., defensive end again out of Louisiana. Pure depth pick for me. Don't know much about this guy at all. I haven't really seen much film on him. I don't know, but it's a shot in the dark, isn't it, when you're into the 7th round?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, he is just total, let's take a flyer on him and see what he's got. I mean, what the small amount of film I've seen on him, what he is really good at is actually the snap count, is actually judging the snap count. He's actually really good at that. He surprises a lot of tackles that respect.
Good speed as well. I think he ran
he's okay.
4.4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's decent. He's decent speed, and he can cover. I've seen him cover a few times out wide, and he nailed a few guys hard. I think this one's a Percy Butler thing.
Yeah,
I think Percy Butler went, hey, this guy's decent, in the 7th, you know what I mean, type thing. And I think because obviously they played for the same team, didn't he, last year?
So you've just got to give your scouts the benefit of the doubt with this one. And
it could be the scouts. It could be Percy Butler just saying, hey, take a look at this guy. He was good for us. You know what I mean? Those type things. I'm sure you've got to listen to your own players, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course you have. So, what are your thoughts overall? Decent draft? Happy with it? Not happy with it? Sort of meh.
Uh,
Hard,
it's
isn't it?
hard, man. It's hard
Yeah.
because I'd say it's not like I don't like the player or the players that we picked. They are actually good players, especially the ones at the first, second, third rounds. They are actually good players. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the case of where we picked them.
Yeah, I
So, and
understand.
that's the problem with the like, is it worth the was he worth the 16th pick? Was, Quan Martin worth the 47? But those type of things. And that's the only thing that kind of winds me up. The only thing that really, the only thing that, well, there's two things that really wind me up. It's the Gonzalez thing, but I understand why we took Forbes. I understand that, but then also with the Quan Martin one, I think we should have went for Branch. I think we should have went up a couple of spots just to get him. Which would have cost us maybe a fifth rounder or
A
a sixth
fifth,
rounder
yeah,
to
next
go up.
year. Or a
You know what I
fourth
mean?
next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been
That
that
would have
high
done
because it's
it.
only two spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I just think, I'm a bit upset about that one. I think that's the one that's pissing me off the most is the second rounder. But I'm going to give the guy a chance. I'm going to say, let's see what he's got, and hopefully that he can prove me wrong, and that he's end up being better than Branch. So yeah, we'll
So
see.
then, as soon as the draft finished, then Scouts, we've got quite a lot of undrafted free agents in the door, and I'll run
Mm.
through them all by name. But we'll talk about maybe a couple of them here. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got Kazmir or Kaz Allen from UCLA, wide receiver. We've got Zion Brown from Hawaii, wide receiver. We've got O lineman from Ole Miss, Mason Brooks. We've got Tim Domrat or Demont from Fordham, who's a quarterback, highest touchdowns in college football and highest yards as well. So
Shame
he's
he played in the
probably,
C leagues.
yeah, in the C leagues.
That's
He's
the only problem.
probably,
The C
yeah,
leagues, weren't they?
he's probably gonna be our third choice quarterback, I would assume at the
Well,
moment.
yeah. I mean, don't forget Jake Fromm was a Georgia guy.
He was, yeah. Xavier Henderson, who's a safety out of Michigan State. Joshua Pryor, a DN from Bowie State. Jalen Sample, wide receiver out of Michigan State. That's a bit of a higher name. Kendall Smith, the safety out of Illinois. DJ Sturgis, cornerback from Missouri Western. Mitch Tinsley, from wide receiver from Penn State. Another big name there. Bryce Tremone from Stanford, wide receiver, and Nick Whiteside, cornerback out of, can't even remember the college. It was a D League kind of area there. It doesn't get much from there. But
Yeah.
the three off there that we probably need to talk about are O lineman guard Mason Brooks out of Ole Miss. He actually signed the second highest undrafted free agent money out of the entire NFL. So we gave him
Okay.
$185,000 guaranteed, with 150,000 base salary and a 35,000 signing bonus, which is very interesting. So they must think quite
Like him.
highly of him
Mm-hmm.
as a guard, and
Is he a
he
left
is
guard?
an out and out left guard.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hmm. Interesting
So
then. Interesting.
I've seen some draft boards and I've seen a bit of chatter on there. People saying he was probably a fifth, maybe even a fourth round pick is where they had him,
So
and
so why did he so
he
why did he
fell
go undrafted
totally.
then?
No idea. Could
It
not
couldn't
tell
be
you
just
why
that
he
someone
went there.
forgot about him. It must be something red flaggy or something that's made him
I
not sure
don't
or
know.
injury or something.
I don't know, but what I do know is that
Need to look into that more, don't we? Need to look into that.
what I do know is that our coaches worked out with him at obviously the Senior Bowl and the East West Shrine Bowl. So, it's interesting to see that he signed on that deal.
Well, I mean, if
The
he's a
other one,
if he's a fourth round talent and we got him undrafted, I mean that's unbelievable value. So
yeah,
bring
and
it
the other
on, bring
one,
that on.
the other one is Mitchell Tinsley out of Penn State, wide receiver.
I like
Obviously,
him. I watched him. I watched him a few games.
yeah, took Jahan Dotson's number 5 in college. I talked to John Taman, who's a big Penn State fan, and he said, yeah, he had flashes. He was okay. He wasn't he's not something that you're gonna write home about, but could he make a roster? Yeah, absolutely, he could make a roster. There's no doubt about that. Again, he signed $120,000 base salary and a 15K signing bonus. So if you look around the UDFA's, he was fifth on the list. So we're paying our UDFA's quite a lot. The one that stands out for me, though, is Kazmir Allen from UCLA. He was an absolute beast at kick returns and punt returns, averaging 27 yards a kick return, and he can return punts as well. So for me, I think he's probably got the easiest route to make into the roster. Away from obviously Dax Milne, bye bye. So the Dax Milne shuffle will be saying bye bye to that one, and he
Hey, do
looks
you know?
like he's an explosive player. You know what I mean? When you're
Do
going
you
for it,
know that Alex Ericsson's still on the staff? Do you
he
know
is. Yeah, yeah, he is still there. Yeah, yeah, he is still
that?
there.
Yeah,
So for me, he looks like he's probably the one that could make the roster. I mean, you always get it. UDFA's come into a 90-man squad, and it's different this year, Scouts. We haven't got the cut downs anymore. You go straight from 90-man at the end of the training camp, at the end of preseason, straight down to your 53. So there's a lot of cuts around there. So do we say, yes, we'll keep these guys on the practice squad, see who comes out on waivers, whether it's an older guy or if it's someone that we were really high on in the draft and we had a grade on them?
yeah.
Do we wait
I
for
mean,
that, or because I think one or two of these guys are going to make the roster spot. You know what I mean? I think they are.
yeah. I mean, there's one guy you're not mentioning is a Temple
Josh
or
Pryor.
Semple, Semple or
Jalen
Temple.
Sample. Yeah, Jalen Sample. Yeah.
Well, he's something like 6'7".
Yeah, I've heard about that, and they
You
reckon
know,
he might be the new
he is
Cam Sims. Yeah.
exactly. He's not very fast, but he'd be great for red zone. So I reckon to get on the squad as a wide receiver, he's got the easiest option because we need a Cam Sims replacement, and none of the other guys you mentioned are a Cam Sims replacement, but Semple is. But yes, I do
What about the guy we
get with
signed from
Dax Milne.
Kansas? What did the guy we signed
Oh,
from
he's special
Kansas
teams,
City?
mate.
Is he just pure special
Yeah,
teams?
he's special teams,
Is
mate.
it Kemp? He was called. I think it was
Kemp,
Kemp.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kemp, yeah. You're right. I think he's a
So
wide receiver, but I think
he is.
he's going to be special teams only. I think So I think Casimiran's got a great chance because our punt returners are shite, and I do think Ericsson and the other guy Milne will be gone. So those two can take those spots, and say you still got another spot there because I think Semple takes Sim's spot personally if he's any good. All you got to do is just be decent. You haven't got to be brilliant. Just high point the ball and catch it. That's all you're gonna have to do, and you'll probably get on the squad because you don't have anybody like that guy in that size.
Are you expecting big things out of De'Ami Brown this year? I mean, he got a couple of touchdowns last year. It started to look like
so.
he looked like he was going that way, and it's his college quarterback now that's under center for us.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, he's the guy that we all know. He's just basically, verticals, and that's what he is. He just runs past everybody, and then the deep ball, should I say? I understand he's trying to get better with his route running, but to be fair, he's still going to be used as that kind of blistering speed over the top. And I think, and obviously, Howard, the deep ball, that good deep ball he's got. Yeah, I can definitely see him doing better than last season. Just depends if the enemy uses him, though. That's the only problem.
The last thing we'll go on to on the draft then is who for you, because you sat with me and we were texting away all the way through these 3 days of the draft, pretty much. And we were chirping in with our own picks, who we thought we should take, who we shouldn't take. Overall, do you have a favourite pick out of our selection?
Probably have to be Forbes.
Yeah.
Forbes. Yeah. I think he's got everything you want from a cornerback. If you just put on next to say, £10 of muscle, but don't lose the speed, that'd be perfect. If you lose a bit of speed, then obviously, make him go back to being a bit thinner again. but yeah, man, I really like what he's going to bring to the table.
I think for me, it's probably Chris Rodriguez Jr. at running back. Didn't want a running back there at that time, but from what he brings and what he could bring, I think it keeps the other running backs healthy. It means that Gibson can move out into more of that scat back, third down back type role. So I'm looking forward to seeing him there. That would be great. Overall, then in the NFL as a draft, who do you think won the draft? Do you have a particular team that you thought, oh yeah, they've definitely got better?
Well, unfortunately, our greatest rivals in the Eagles.
Yeah,
they nail their draft, mate. They nail their draft, man, and they've already got a strong team as it is, and they lost a few guys, but the guys they drafted, they went up to get guys. They were aggressive when they wanted to be. I just think that they're going to take some stopping again this year. Very
yeah,
difficult.
I agree with you. I think they're going to be, by all accounts, they've probably got the best roster in the entire NFC. You know, if you want to take
That's
it
what I
that
mean. Yeah,
way.
that's what I'm saying. He's going in. Well, going back to the Super Bowl. The
Yeah,
Super Bowl last
maybe.
year. I mean, they definitely got a chance to go back again. They
Oh yeah,
really do.
their windows wide open. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
is it's there now, isn't it?
Lost a
It's there
couple of
now.
guys, but then they brought some dudes, man, are coming through. I mean, I'd say the Kobe Dean didn't even play
Ooh,
last year, and he
I
wasn't even
know.
injured. He just didn't play him. Didn't need to. And he'd have
Because
to
it was
go.
that good.
Yeah,
Might as well just call them
it's that
Georgia
good.
and be done with it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They are the Georgia Bulldogs, basically.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
The
it's
Georgia Eagles. Yeah,
picking up
100%, man.
Keely Ringo in the fourth round. I mean, then you
Do
trade him
you
for
know?
Devon.
Do you know? Yeah, they're giving this for an interesting stat.
Go on then.
Do you know? Stromberg
Yes.
for us? Yeah, the guy we got the center. He's got a higher vertical jump than Keely Ringo.
Wow.
So a center can
That's
jump higher than a cornerback.
that's versatility for you, isn't it? That is versatility. Maybe he could
Madness,
play on the
then.
outside. Who knows? Move him out. Move him out. We'll go back to then what
That's
we
how
talked
bad
about.
Ringo is.
What we talked about last time. I don't think he was that bad. I really didn't. I didn't think he was a
It's
first
not
round
good.
talent, but I definitely thought he would go in the second. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
thought
he,
that's
he
probably
definitely
where he
fell
would
because when you see the combine, you see, oh, because he didn't really produce that much. He wasn't very good in the combine.
just speed purely. That was it, wasn't it? Really, he had a very
Yeah.
fast 40, but that was about it. So going back to it, then obviously Vegas has put us at 6.5. Overall as a team, ranking us 30th on that depth chart of
Disrespect is
wins.
real.
You've got in front of you, Scouse, I believe,
Yeah.
the schedule moving forward.
Well, we got the opponents. We haven't got the weeks and anything like
opponents.
that. Yeah, we got the opponents.
So I think we should probably go through these and have a look at
Okay.
what we think initially as our prediction. And then when we get to the end of training camp, almost into pre-season, we'll do this again.
Right, okay. All righty.
And see if we've changed.
So, do you want to do the home opponents first or the away?
Yeah, we'll just do the home opponents first. Yeah.
Home opponents first. Obviously, we got obviously the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles. Okay. So how you think we're going to get on there with them three?
I will take 2 wins out of 3, and I think we beat the Cowboys, and I also think we beat the Eagles, and we're due to beat the Eagles because I'm sick of either tying with them or losing last minute to them. But I don't think we. Sorry, not the Eagles, the Giants. Even no, I don't think we beat the Eagles. I don't think we beat the Eagles. So
no, yeah, I think the Eagles do us. But again, that all depends on schedule. That one, I think, because
it does. Yeah.
If it's middle of the season, we know what we got. We might have a better chance. If it's early doors, we're not going to be up to speed, and they're already a better team and win the Super Bowl with their winning team. So they should batter us if it was early doors. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go actually 1 and 2. I think we're going to lose 2 of the 3.
Okay, so you're at 1 and 2.
I think the Eagles beat us. I also think the Giants beat us. I think we beat Dallas.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Then the next one for home is we've got Arizona Cardinals.
That's a win.
Yes, I think that's a win as well. We'll go with that one. They've got the 49ers.
Probably not a win there.
Probably a loss. Yeah. Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
okay, going to get hammered there as well.
Not a win for me. Yeah.
Miami Dolphins. They're a team as well. Tough on that one.
Potentially, but that's a tough
Potential. One. I'm going to say us. I'm going to say we're going to win that one. I'm going to say
squeaker.
We're going to be tight as hell. Yeah.
Are you thinking that's a squeaker here?
Tighter.
You're going to take a win there. I'm going to take a loss there. I'm going to say no, we don't win that one.
Okay. And then Chicago Bears
is a win.
I think we should win that one, but they're going to be a lot better. I think it'll be a lot closer than we think. I think it'd be like between, say, 4 points, I reckon, that one.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 4 wins at home, and I've got 4 wins at home. Oof.
Okay. Yeah, away. Really, you need 6. Really need 6.
Yeah,
if you really want to be going, if you really want to be getting to the playoffs, you really need 6 minimum. So that's hard. So obviously, again, we got the away opponents. We got our divisional rivals, so the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles. I think. I think we go 1 and 2 again. I really do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 and 2.
1 and 2 again. I think Dallas beat us. They always beat us at their ground. There's only once we've beaten them in ages at Dallas. I think we take the Eagles at their ground again. I think we stomp all over them. Yeah, I think we stomp all over them like last year.
I think we beat the Giants, but I think we
No,
clean sweep the Giants.
I just thought we can't beat the Giants, mate. We can't beat Daniel Jones and
Right,
Giants. We just can't do it. It's either a
can't.
draw or we get beat. We just can't beat them. So I'm going to say that they did the sweep on us, Giants. Yeah.
Wow, I'm going the other way around. I think we do the sweep on the Giants. So we're at 5 wins, both of us so far, then, and we've done the divisional. And so in division,
you'd be on 6, wouldn't you? You got 2 wins, haven't you? Oh no,
no,
you're
one,
me,
one on
you?
one.
You're the same as me,
one on one. So we've got 5. We've both got 5 wins
each
so far.
So okay. So now the next away one is the LA Rams.
I think that's a win.
It's a winnable game, but don't forget we're playing them.
Yeah, but they're in pure rebuild. I know it's a long way away, but they are in pure rebuild.
Isn't just that? Look at the coaches.
I know it's McVay, but come on, man. Stafford as well.
McVay.
Is he washed? Is he injured? Do we even know who's starting under center?
If his elbow's all right, but then he'll probably tear us apart. But
so are you saying no for that one, or are you saying a win?
I'm gonna have to say a win.
Okay.
Because there's not going to be many more. I'll tell you that.
I'm going for a win.
Next one, Seattle away.
Lost. Not with that defense. No chance.
We haven't gone to Seattle and won in donkeys. I mean, we played them so many times in the playoff round and the wild card rounds and lost. We just can't. We're just not very good against Seattle normally, especially at their ground. It's just a different level. Then we've got the Pats, New England Patriots away.
I actually think that's a winnable game.
It's a winnable game, but it depends again what part of the season it's in. Is it when the New England Patriots are anywhere near the end? They can't be asked because they're not going to win their leagues. I don't think they are this year. I think Miami will take that division quite easily. But yeah, so it'll depend. But last time we played at the Pats there, didn't we get beat like 50 odd to fucking 4 or something like that?
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Tom Brady destroyed us. We can't believe it.
But again, Mac Jones and Bill Belichick do not get on, but they have an incredible defense as well. They have a very good,
and they just got Gonzalez
defense
as well.
I know. I'm going to take that as a win. Actually, I am going to chalk it up as a win, and you're saying loss. So you are still at 5, and I am at
6.
No, you're at 6. Sorry, and I am at 7.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're at 6 wins. I'm at 7.
Yeah. The Jets.
With Aaron Rodgers.
We've got a tough schedule, bro.
Honestly, this is meant to be a 4th place schedule. What is going on?
It's fucking brutal, mate.
Aaron
Rodgers, this is why I can understand when you break it down. I can see why Vegas is thinking 6.5.
Yeah.
No,
that's not
the Jets. Yeah, I mean Rodgers with that team because their defense is awesome as well. I mean
Garrett Wilson as well. Who else have they got
they're like that close away from probably going all the way in the NFC.
Yeah, possibly.
The Jets.
Sauce Garner, very good.
Exactly.
Side.
Yeah. Atlanta Falcons.
That is a win.
It's a win.
No, that's a win.
It's a win, but hey, you've seen the business they've done this off season.
I know.
And their draft and Bijan and all that.
Bijan's a flash in the pan, honestly.
It's gonna be tight, that one. If
we
can stop the run against them, we'll be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say a win, but it's gonna be tight.
Okay.
And then the last one we've got, mate, is the Denver Broncos.
Which we don't know what they're going to do. And we don't know what they're going to do. I am going to say...
I'm going to say a win.
That is, again, a win.
I'm going to say a win. I'm going to say a win because I just think that Russell Wilson just doesn't get on with his teammates at all. He's just an absolute knob, and I think that's going to play itself out throughout this season. I know they've got Sean Payton there now, which will make a big difference, but I just think they're not going to be on the same page, and I hope we get them later on in the season when they're just like basically fighting with each other all inside. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So that is an 8-8 season for you, I think. Yeah. 17 weeks with a bye week in there, isn't it? So
16 games.
16.
No, 17 games.
It's 17 games. So it's 8 and 9. It's 8 and 9 you've gone for then.
8 and 9.
8 and 9, and I'm 9 and 8.
Yeah.
9 and 8 backing into a wild card spot. That's where that is. Yeah, well,
we might just nick it. You might just nick a wild card at 9 and 8. Maybe.
But I don't think you're getting it at 8 and 9. I really don't.
No. I don't think you do either. And this is the problem you say, is like we think we got better, as in our teams got better, but from the draft and all the rest of it, and the enemies and all the rest. But the problem is our schedule's horrific.
It is awful.
That is the instant equalizer right there, is that? Because if we had this last season's schedule come up this year with the new system, I reckon we're getting 12 wins easy. Easy. Yeah. But because Scott Turner blew the bloody window, because that was our window was last season, I think, to really make it, because we didn't know about Giants, we didn't know what they were going to do. And, we could have took it up a notch, but Scott Turner blew it for us. So, yeah. This
so
is
you can
difficult.
understand the 6.5 over under there for Vegas, but I do think that is a little bit low. I think if it was still remained 7.5, I could probably legit. I could say that's probably legit. That's probably whereabouts you are. But yeah, let's revisit this at the end of training camp, or even pre-season.
At the pre-season,
yeah, and we'll see what we think, where we think we are, because
anything could happen. Injuries
things are going to
shake
out. We don't know what's happening, do we? And this is the thing for every NFL team as well. It's not just us. Injuries happen. How many times do you see Ian Rappaport get through halfway through training camp and this first round pick's out for the entire season? Do you know what I mean? And then, their draft pick's gone, and this veteran left tackle's gone down. He's got he's broke his ACL. Every season it happens. So we'll see what happens. But that's it really from us this week. Have you got anything else you want to add, Scouse? Are you quite happy? No, it's been great. It's been great. We had American Takeover Month. Now finished American Takeover Month into the month of May. I've got to say our viewership has spiked massively. When we had Rico on from Street Scores, highest grossing pod we've had. Thank you to him. Also, Kyle went from the Burgundy Zone, was on with us. Again, great viewership. So it's obvious,
So what's that telling you? What's that telling you?
If you get the big
guys
on,
you
get the big boys on, you're going to go places. But as I said, from the start of this, we're not on here for that. We're here to give you guys in the UK a different view. 2 UK fans chopping it up, and we'll always be here. Don't matter if we get one person writing in saying it was a great pod, or one person saying thanks, we appreciate what you do. That's all we're here for. We're here just to chat for an hour or so. But thank you very much for joining us.
100%.
Please subscribe. Please listen and watch on YouTube. We should, over this close season, have better YouTube graphics and algorithms and bits behind it. Bit more of an intro, which we're looking forward to doing. A lot coming in the off season, so stay tuned to us. And thanks again for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.